What is up, YouTube? It's Josh. This is the Den of Nerds. This is a Top 5 Tuesday. Now, I know I haven't done a Top 5 Tuesday in a while, but I wanted to do one remembering some of the good things from 2016. So this is my top 5 favorite nerdy moments of 2016. Oh, and a small caveat, if you like Top 5 Tuesday videos and you want them to come back to the channel, please let me know in the comments section, and I'll considering bringing them back perhaps in a bi-monthly sort of way. I kind of liked them, but they weren't really getting views, so I don't know. We'll see how this one does, and we'll go from there. Now let's start with number 5. The number 5 favorite nerdy moment of mine from 2016 was the Future Trunks arc of Dragon Ball Super. Now, I am a huge fan of Dragon Ball, and I was so pumped that we got back that universe in a weekly anime form. But to be completely honest, a lot of the early parts of Dragon Ball Super were less than desirable. There were some animation issues, there were lackluster stories, a lot of humor heavy stuff, and there were adaptations of movies that quite frankly just weren't up to par with their original material. But that all changed with the Future Trunks arc. The Future Trunks arc, to me, was completely solid writing, incredible animation, the introduction of really intriguing characters with interesting motivations. It was everything you want from Dragon Ball, including action, including humor, including just raw energy and badass transformations. But it also brought new things to the table, which were delightful for me as a fan. I seriously cannot speak highly enough of the Future Trunks arc. It is available to stream on Crunchyroll right now, so I would check that out if you're interested. Or if you are going to be chiming in for the new dubbed version of Dragon Ball Super, which will air on Toonami this weekend, just know that some of the lackluster stuff in the beginning gives way to some really incredible stuff down the line. So the Future Trunks arc of Dragon Ball Super was my number 5 favorite nerdy moment from 2016. Number 4 for me was bringing Thrawn into canon. Grand Admiral Thrawn is one of the most beloved characters from the old expanded universe. He is, of course, a part of the Thrawn trilogy books by Timothy Zahn. He's a chiss. He's really interesting as a villain, and was able to do a lot of cool things that even the Emperor did not do. And so people really love him, including myself. Now, when Star Wars Celebration was going on over the summer, they announced that Thrawn was coming into the new Disney canon. He was going to be appearing in Star Wars Rebels, and there was going to be a new novel written about him, which is actually going to be taking place in his younger years, and that will be coming out under the new Disney canon banner next year. But just having Admiral Thrawn in canon, I remember being so hyped that I actually left work to come home and do videos on it because I was so pumped about it. But not only did I get the explanation and the announcement of this, but I got to actually see Thrawn in Rebels, which was incredible. Dave Filoni did a brilliant job of adapting this character. He's everything that I would have wanted, and I think we're literally just getting started with him in canon. I love his voice. I love the way he's able to piece things together. His just incredible mind for strategy. Very, very cool stuff. So the Grand Admiral Thrawn coming into canon was my number 4 favorite nerdy moment from 2016. So let's go to number 3. Number 3 to me is the end of Game of Thrones Season 6. And I don't know about you guys, but it literally feels like that was forever ago. But here's the thing about the end of Season 6. I am a huge fan of Game of Thrones. However, Season 5 to me was a bunch of crap. It was terrible. There was so many wasted episodes, including my least favorite episode in all of Game of Thrones, and just really, really disappointing stuff. Going into Season 6, it started very strong for me. Then there were some really, really lackluster moments in the middle, and my faith in the show was completely shaken. In fact, I was only going to give it to the end of Season 6, decide how I felt about it, and I was going to consider dropping it and not even caring how the show ended, which, by the way, is what I did with The Walking Dead. But The last 2 episodes of Game of Thrones were so mind-blowing that it brought my hype to a completely new level. There was the Battle of the Bastards, which was just one of the best action scenes I have seen, period, in live action. Better than some movies, just more incredible than any show I've ever seen. It's like, this scene was nuts. And it ended with a very satisfying death. And then that last episode, man, with Cersei blowing up the keep and blowing up the High Sparrow, just killing all of those people, Tomlin dying, and then Jon Snow becoming the king in the north. Like, I own one pop figure, and he sits up here next to Goku watching every single YouTube video we do. It is the motherfucking king in the north. That episode was so hype. So now going into the rest of these 2 last seasons, which I'm actually glad they're going to make them tight, but that's a video for another time. Man, that was such a great nerdy moment and a real lifesaver for that show as far as my viewership is concerned. Now, let's get to the nitty gritty. Let's get to my top 2 favorite nerdy moments from 2016. And coming in at number 2 was the Spider-Man in the MCU. Now, it's not just cool that Spider-Man is in the MCU, but that can't be understated. It is incredible that they were able to iron out that deal and have Spider-Man hanging out with the Avengers. That was nuts. And to see that on screen blew my mind. But it's not just that. It is the careful just consideration of everything that is that character and bringing that into the big screen. I mean, he's smart, he's funny, he's a kid, he has a Queen's accent. I mean, it's so brilliant. I mean, watching that scene with him and Tony in Civil War, I literally wanted to just stop watching Civil War right then and there and watch a 3-hour movie of those two just hanging out. I literally would have done that. To me, it was amazing. But it's not just that either, because then we get a taste of the trailer for Homecoming late in the year, and it nails it, man, in tone. I mean, to me, Spider-Man is one of my favorite comic characters. I often tell people he is my favorite comic character because technically my favorite character is a clone of him, and I don't want to get all super nerdy on people, so I just say that Spider-Man is. But even considering that he's not, he's still top. I mean, I love that character, man. I mean, Peter Parker's, his worst enemy is actually poverty, which, I mean, come on, tell me you can't relate to that. He has incredibly bad luck. He just wants to do the right thing. He's been gifted with all these powers. So cool, man. In such a short window there, they were able to really nail that Spider-Man character and assure us as fans that they are taking all the care in the world to bring us the right Spider-Man for the right time in the MCU. Absolutely incredible, and my second most favorite nerdy moment from 2016. So let's do it. Let's discuss the number 1 moment in nerdy goodness from 2016. And you might have guessed it. I don't know if I've let on or not. If you've looked at the recent upload of Star Wars videos, you probably could have guessed it. But yeah, Rogue One. Rogue One is my number 1 nerdy moment from 2016. It was just a beautiful, beautiful thing. I unabashedly love the movie. Love it. I've seen it 3 times, and it's not enough. I'm going to catch it a couple more times when it's in theater. But from all of the rumors, from the reshoots, from the confusion at Disney, Josh Trank leaving, all of these things, we're like, what's going on with the Star Wars anthology movies that are now the Star Wars story movies? There was so much that I just was not sure about when going into this movie. Now, promotion does a great job of promoting. That's what they do. But I still held a lot of reserved feelings about the picture, man. This is the first movie that wasn't a saga film that's live action Star Wars, and it was going to set the precedent for the rest of these movies, because they're going to make a ton of them now, guys. Rogue One is crushing at the box office, as it should. So to go in there and not be sure, and to just literally I was filled with so much joy and happiness, and I felt rewarded for being a fan of their canon, reading the comics and the novels. I mean, Catalyst is a great book. Go check out my Catalyst review, and then you'll be better informed about it. Or go read Catalyst. It's a great book. But I honestly felt like it was just a love letter to hardcore Star Wars fans, man. And that is what I am. Above all things, I am a hardcore Star Wars fan. So to go into that movie and be rewarded in the way that I was, and to see Vader tearing people apart, and to see Vader's castle, and so many other things that I could literally go on forever, it was really, really cool. It was a super enjoyable experience, and it reinvigorated my love for Star Wars. I've been just doing so much Star Wars. I'm reading. I read Tarkin. I'm going in, man. I'm reading these comics. I want to get a custom lightsaber, and it's such a beautiful thing. I spoke to this in another video, but now I go home or to Boston every Christmas and I watch Star Wars with my family. It was so cool to be able to continue that tradition and to really love it and bring that love to the people that I love. So cool. So that was my number one favorite nerdy moment from 2016. But let me know in the comment section, what were some of your favorite nerdy moments from 2016? Is there something that I missed? Is there a big glaring hole in my list? You tell me, guys, because that's what this is about, is nerding out together. I want to know what you liked, and I want to know how into it you were. So, hit me up on there. And feel free to hit me up on the Den of Nerds Snapchat. And as I'm mentioning the Snapchat, I want to mention this. I'm working on a video with Comic Uno. We're going to do a 2-part collaboration in which we talk about our Mount Rushmore of comics, who we would put up on the Mount Rushmore of comic books. And we both were talking, and we said we really want to know what you guys think you would put for your Mount Rushmore of comics. So please send me a video on the Den of Nerds Snapchat talking about your top 4 people that you would want to put up on a Mount Rushmore of comics, and we will put your video from Snapchat into one of our videos on YouTube, and I think it's going to be really, really cool. So make sure you do that. Now, let's check the nerd card really, really quickly, okay? The question is about the Death Troopers from Rogue One. Where does the name Death Trooper come from? What does it refer to? Answer that question in the comment section below. Like the video if you like what's going on here. Subscribe to the channel. I hope you're having an awesome and nerdy day. See ya!